It was 2018, and while Dreamcatcher was busy being haunted by a spider, a lovely new girl group just debuted, consisting of 9 girls who just won Mnet's brand new survival show, Idol School. But practically nobody expected anything from these girls. The show wasn't exactly hitting the numbers Mnet expected it to, and they debuted under a really small company. Fast forward to the present day, and while they're one of the more appreciated girl groups of the fourth generation, somehow after 6 years they're still an underrated one. They're a group full of incredibly talented and hardworking individuals whose strong vocals and powerful performance have captured the eyes and hearts of many, and they're the holders of one of the most flawless discographies ever in K-pop. I am of course talking about fromis 9. So I've always wondered why it is that I like fromis so much. What is it about that group that makes me like their music so much, even if they're not songs I'd normally enjoy? I mean, obviously they've got beautiful voices, but that usually wouldn't be enough to make someone like me absolutely love Too Hard, right? Like I mentioned in the intro, fromis 9 comes from a survival school. Their name is an initialism for from Idol School, and the 9 is for, the 9 members. Which, speaking of the girls, fromis at debut consists of 9 members: saerom, hayoung, gyuri, jiwon, jisun, seoyeon, chaeyoung, nagyung, and jiheon. To be able to fully paint the vibrant, colorful picture that is fromis 9, we need to go back. Like, all the way back. March 2017 pre-debut era back. Because while fromis technically didn't debut until 2018, they did release a single, Glass Shoes, after Idol School, which, yes, that is a Cinderella reference if you're wondering. It was meant to depict the beginning of fromis starting their own story. The track features some light rock elements to completely fit the fresh high-teen vibe they were going for here. fromis leaves this song as a glass shoe for their fans in hopes of getting to meet them again soon. And the lyrics are just full of heart and sincerity, talking about their dreams and aspirations. The rest of the song talks about their fans, who they love, and will stick with them through their shining moments. They end the song realizing they've already achieved this dream. They've managed to captivate and capture the hearts of many, and with that, they're ready to start their journey together with the fans on the path of hope and love. Side note real quick, I had to watch this music video back obviously, and I was kinda shocked at how young the girls looked, but then I remembered they're ages 14 through 21 at debut. Jiheon was 14 years old when they debuted. Anyways, I just wanted to mention that in case anyone else was thinking it too. Back to the video. Moving forward in time to January 8th, 2018, and fromis officially debuts under Pledis Entertainment with the mini album Too Hard. The girls continue waiting, but now in an upgraded version of Glass Shoes. Too Hard keeps the fresh high-teen vibes fromis started with, but turns up the BPM guitars and drums, making this older, cooler, and slightly faster sibling of Glass Shoes. The song starts off with this beautiful violin intro by Gyuri that is just so outstandingly good. It's unbelievably iconic. The strings are absolutely stunning, the melodies all throughout were gorgeous, the chorus is so catchy and I can't even explain why. The lyrics continue the story of fromis as the pages are unfolding, and chapter 2 is titled To Heart because it's a love letter to their fans as they are their heart, and the track itself is faster because they want to meet them faster. This music video is so pretty, by the way. The color grading in this is stunning. The girls look adorable writing the huge letter with a big ass pencil. This debut really solidified fromis' identity as a group. It's cute and fun like what most of their future tracks will end up being. fromis received massive praise for their first debut, with the title track From Two Hearts reaching number 4 on the gyun album chart. Debuting on number 4 is kinda crazy, so let's go check out why this album did numbers. Cue the album review. May 2014, 4 months post-debut, it was announced that Gyuri would temporarily be leaving the group to join Produce 48, another Mnet survival show, which you probably know as a show that debuted izone. fromis continued on as an 8-member group, so Gyuri skipped the comeback. For anyone curious, she got eliminated after the 3rd round and placed 25th out of 96 contestants overall, which is pretty decent actually, considering izone debuted with like what, 13 people? My question is just what they would have done if Gyuri did make the final cut. Like, would she have had to leave fromis for 3 years? Like, what was the plan there? I get that this was just an easy way to promote fromis, but like, what if she did make top list and they just have no faith in her? Like, what's the story there? Anyways, while Gyuri was busy performing Pick Me, the show had to go on with fromis, and in that same May of 2018, Chapter 3 of fromis' story titled Today dropped. In it, the girls are tired of waiting and they're taking action, while they've taken on this girl next door with the cat obsession persona. You know, the usual. dkdk, aka Your Heart Pitter Patting Like You're Excited, is fromis' next title track, and the story continues on nicely. The girls are tired of waiting for love and have built up the courage to say how they feel and chase after it. And the girls are literally obsessed. Lyrics are so hilarious and corny, but it's fine because that's kind of the whole point of the song. It's silly and campy fun. But plot twist, they end the song saying I hate you! Except not really, because I just hate them for the fact that I can't be with them every second of the day. I guess whoever was the head of their A&R team at the time loved the sound of Pinocchio and was like, let's do that again, but on steroids and throw in a giant cat. And the way they're singing about chasing love and they're chasing a cat with this entire music video is low-key edging on furryism, but I'm choosing to ignore that. Though what I would give to be in that meeting room and whoever came up with this had to pitch the idea.
So let me get this straight, you want the girls in a small rural village chasing around a giant imaginary cat only they can see.
Correct.
But the girls themselves simultaneously also sometimes act like the cat in question?
Yes. Yes, exactly.
And you're thinking cats everywhere and an ever-lurching ominous presence of the ginormous cat throughout the entire video?
Precisely.
Spectacular, give me 14 of them right now.
The choreo is cute as hell though, like you can't even lie. The little running section, the hearts in the chorus, the arm swing, like this is cute as shit, come on. Also, fromis does not get enough credit for their dancing, because while this looks cute, it's not easy to do, like the way they jumped into position and how synchronized it is, hello? I don't even want to know how long it took them to get that down. Props to them.
너를 본 순간 시간은 멈추고 세상의 모든 빛은 너와 나만을 비출 거란 걸. 너의 눈동자 한 번, 두 번, 세 번 계속해서 생각나. 내 서른이 설레임 확실한
And with that, we close out the two-part saga of Fromis' girl crazy in love concept, and while it gave us some bangers, the love is to let go. 2 months later, September 21st, it was announced that Fromis would now be managed by Off the Record Entertainment, a new label set up just for them and about to freshly debut izone. That's such exciting news, getting to be label mates with a temporary group that has a 2-year contract. What could possibly go wrong? Gyuri's back, and no time was wasted gearing everybody up for a comeback. Just a month later, the girls are back with the single album From 9. The girls next door have moved on from that cat obsession to LSD in their new explosive track, Love Bomb. My head feels like it's about to explode listening to this. They're throwing so much at you every second you don't get to catch a break. There are layers upon layers of different sounds mixed together, and then out of nowhere, the prettiest bridge ever. Before everything explodes in the final chorus. They bring back the intro melody, ad-libs are added, and we outro out before the love bomb stops ticking. This track is technically bubblegum pop, I think, but it does not feel like it. Even though the chords and percussions are pretty generic, there's so much going on in the sound that makes this song unique. Quick reminder that Fromis debuted 10 months ago. 10 months and they're already putting out shit like this. The improvement is insane. Quality of the music video has also improved quite a bit. They took Love Bomb seriously because the girls themselves are bombs. I love the mixed media comic book aesthetic they threw in, the random dynamite bowling, the tea room with the K-pumps, and I appreciate the My Super reference. The music videos are always so fun. I love that creative team. Speaking of creative, that chorus is iconic. The choreo is so fun. Everything about this group is so fun. Ugh. And rightfully so, this song blew up, literally. It debuted at number 3 on the Gaon album chart and is still their second most popular song to date. The rest of this mini was also really good, so let's take a look. Rookie Fromis did insanely well for their first year. They produced banger after banger and they honestly don't even have to prove themselves anymore. But what fun would it be if they stopped here? Quick intermission here. I forgot to mention they won the Rising Star Award at the 2018 AAAs joined with SF9.
프로미스 9.
네, 안녕하세요. 프로미스 9입니다. 이렇게 큰 시상식에 온 것만으로도 너무 영광인데 좋은 상 주셔서 너무 감사드리고요. 저희 팬분들 너무 감사드리고 오프 더 레코드 스쿼드 방 대표님, 한 PD님 너무너무 감사드립니다. 앞으로도 열심히 해서 쭉쭉 나아가는 프로미스 9 되겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Happy New Year's guys, we finally made it to 2019 and a few weeks after the 1-year anniversary of Fromis on the 24th, they held a VLive for their first birthday party. And during the stream, they had a little special announcement to make.
바로 팬덤명입니다.
와, 저희도 떨리네요.
오늘 드디어 공개한 날이 왔는데
하나, 둘, 셋.
팬분들 축하드려요. 드디어 이름이 생겼습니다.
Fromis fans would now officially be called Flovers, coming from the combination of the words Fromis and Clover, which you might remember as their first fan song. The meaning is described as a promise between Fromis 9 and their fans to spend happy moments together. After 8 months, Fromis is back with their first single album, Fun Factory, and if the acid trip inducing Love Bomb wasn't quite strong enough for you, Fromis now presents Fun.
Come on, girls, get on the floor. Fromis, get so ready, show.
Crack. This is crack in song form. If Love Bomb was an acid trip, this was a trip to outer space, emphasis on the space. This is still classified as bubblegum pop, I'm pretty sure, but holy shit, this was borderline excessive. In a good way, of course. At least Fun was gracious enough to give you a little break during the pre-chorus before knocking your teeth out with that chorus.
We just wanna have some fun.
Shout out to Soyeon's rap, she ate that. And the lyricism of rhyming Ariana Grande with a Korean word. This was so truly the queen card of its time. Super silly and fun, like this is what K-pop is all about, just having a fun time. Speaking of fun, this music video is one of my favorite MVs of all time. The fake fromis versions of product placement, the Fanta, bro! I fucking love them. This is so silly and funny. Whoever DigiPetty directed this, I hope you got paid well. And tell me why the ads low-key words, like why do I want some bomb noodles right now? Anyways, I love the little jump they do every time they sing Fun. They had the girls hopping around in this choreo. They have so many cool little intricate details and musicality in this. They do a really good job of keeping up with the track and not looking exhausted, which for this song is definitely not an easy feat. The choreo is fun, what do you want me to say? Really quickly, also, I haven't talked about their styling before because it was pretty normal, you know, cute dresses and whatnot. But for Fun, they were styled in these really campy, cutesy, colorful outfits that fit their concept so well, and I love it. Speaking of love, how about I shut up and we take a look at what's going on at wing number 2 of this Fun factory. Now, I didn't mention it with the release of the first season, but Fromis will also come to be known for a little series called Channel 9. The first season aired in October 2018, but I didn't mention it then because it was mostly just vlogs of the girls doing random shit. Season 2, however, started airing in May 2019, and that is where we begin to see the structure of what would eventually end up as the official numbered Channel 9 episodes of Season 3. Well, yes, the content right now is sporadic, not exactly structured, but more so divided in eras. The random skits, later in the house, which were the dorm episodes, before going back to random skits and scripted content, and then ending it in August of 2020 with the special MT, EFG, and later an award show thingy to celebrate the second season finishing. The concept-based episode or the smaller contained skit episodes are what the final form, so to speak, of Channel 9 will end up being, but more on that when we actually get there timeline-wise. What better way to start the year than with some drama? An actual one though. Gyuri stars in her first big TV show, It's Okay Not to Be Okay, as a supporting character Sunbyul. It's a romantic hospital show, I think. I haven't seen it, but actress Gyuri is gonna come up again later, so I figured I should mention it. Anyways, now that Gyuri's drama is out, the whole gang's back together, so how about a comeback? It's been a pretty long time since any musical release, yet it's been radio silence regarding a new album. Then a month goes by, another month goes by, and you realize it's been over a year, and you're starting to wonder if they're even getting a comeback at this point. What the hell was taking so long? And then it's after a 13-month hiatus, Fromis finally makes her 2020 comeback in September with the mini album My Little Society. The girls have had their fun with the more experimental tracks and albums and have gone back to making more cohesive projects. Fromis hasn't been sitting on their ass for the past year though, and that definitely shows in Feel Good. You know what you're looking at here? This is serotonin in song form. The title wasn't lying, I do feel good listening to this. The song is like a nice, crisp, cold Fanta on a hot summer day. Well, yes, this is a pretty simple dance pop song. The track is filled with all these quirky little sounds, the melodies are super addictive, and the beat is guaranteed to get anyone moving. And the vocals in that pre-chorus are crazy. It's a perfect mellow lead up to that refreshing chorus. Ah, I love them. The colors in the music video were also stunning. They did a really good job of capturing that retro 70s feel they're going for here, and that vibe carried over to the styling too. The styling is so gorgeous, they look stunning in all these outfits. I love that they're styled according to the vibes of the scene, and the pink ones are my personal favorite. Also, they're just so pretty. I've been trying not to point that out because I feel like whenever people talk about fromis, it's always about how attractive they are. So I feel like that kind of overshadows their talent sometimes. Like, they are more than just pretty faces, they're also incredibly talented at their job too. They just happen to be really pretty as well, like they can do both. Anyways, all that just to say, Saerom and Megan in this music video. Daddy the grandmaster, Daddy I want it faster, them bitches you're fucking with, I know they go. Anyways, his choreo is so fun, like with all their songs, I love the chorus. I really enjoy a good domino as well, so that spin me around section was made for me. The whole dance is super upbeat and energetic, and I like that the formations are never blocking any of the members, so you can always see everyone. Unfortunately, not everyone was participating though. Seoyeon had to sit out of all promotions for this comeback due to a leg injury, so the rest of the group was again promoting as 8 members. The theme of this album was 70s style funk and finding and loving yourself. Honestly, this album might be some of their saddest lyrics to date. It's always so funny to me how upbeat pop music will hide such sad lyrics, but don't worry, fromis eventually finds their way back to finding themselves, and they end their story here as fish in the ocean, free from all worries and problems, just fromis in their own little society. A few months later in November, Nagyung picked up her acting career when she starred in the K-drama Shadow Beauty as one of the main leads, Mijin. The show is about this girl who gets bullied because she's ugly, but she's secretly famous and yada yada yada. Go watch the show if you're interested. It's apparently pretty good. I've personally only watched the Nagyung cut, which back to my girl, yeah, she's kind of a bad person in this.
이진성이 뭔데 그래? 걔가 네 생각이나 할 것 같아? 미친년아 거울 좀 봐. 걔도 아니? 너가 진이라는 거? 구혜진, 이거 다 네 작품이야, 이 미친년아. 좋은 말 할 때 비번이나 돌려놔. 나중에 더 큰 후회하지 말고. 축제 때까지야.
But you know, I'm not gonna hold that against her, unlike the fromis girls who are relentlessly gonna bully her for years for this one scene.
오, 찐따년도 빡치니까 무섭네. 존나 무섭다, 야.
A few months later, fromis' mini album 9-Way Ticket picks up right where My Little Society dropped us off at, continuing the theme of exploring freely without worry in their new title track, We Go. The song encapsulates the way I think we all felt post-pandemic, just missing going out and feeling of being somewhere new. Continuing on with the feel-good vibes here, this chorus is yet another banger. The melodies and the back and forth sections are so fun. This song just flows so well. This is another refreshing, summery, serotonin boosting track. Nagyung slayed the editing in this. I love this meta social media aesthetic they got going on here. Also, not them hanging up on us. Anyways, I love all the girls' hair in this era, they look so good. They're styled in this boho aesthetic that they somehow actually managed to make look cute, but I personally like the jean fits better. And I know I keep saying the same shit, but this choreo is so fun. I've watched so many performances of this, I subconsciously learned the moves. And you can't even blame me because that chorus is just too fun. But alas, it's time to go see what other destinations this 9-way ticket offers. And with that, we close out this 9-way trip and fromis get to go back to their favorite side hustle, being funny. A few months after We Go, a new season of Channel 9 was officially announced, and this is literally my favorite variety show from any group. These girls are so unhinged and funny. Great music aside, Channel 9 is what made me stand them, and I couldn't wait for Thursday every single week so I'd get to watch a new episode. I'm jumping ahead here, but this season of Channel 9 ended in November of 2022, and we haven't gotten a Channel 9 episode since. I miss it so much, and every fiber of my being is hoping that with the announcement of their new comeback, Channel 9 gets to come back as well. A month later, it's announced that fromis 9 has parted ways with Off the Record Entertainment, and that Pledis Entertainment would now be taking over the group's management. After some restructuring done over at Stone Music, OTR was integrated into a bigger label, Wake One, which resulted in Off the Record not existing anymore. Which kinda makes sense since we're only set up to manage fromis and izone has unfortunately already disbanded a few months prior. Pledis by now is also a subsidiary of Hybe, so keep that in mind. Hopefully Pledis treats them better than OTR ever did. I hope. I guess the guilt of hanging up a flover in We Go finally kicked in about 4 months later, because the girls are back with the special single Talk and Talk. This marks the start of fromis' new journey into their more recent sound we've come to know and love over the past few years. This melody is so good that was stuck in my head for days after hearing this for the first time. The track is pretty simple, but the synths in this go crazy and I love the key changes. Vocals are vocaling again, those ad-libs are just crazy. Not Nagyung getting her job stolen, girl, if you don't get your computer back. The vibes in this music video are immaculate. I live for this colorful, bright 70s retro aesthetic. This video is so fun. Having all the members live in their own little flover apartment complex is so cute. The moon is suspiciously big though, but I guess we're ignoring that. What we're not gonna ignore though is how gorgeous they look. The silver hair on Gyuri, the blonde on Jisun, the orange bob on seoyeon, and saerom with his hair.
Coming for you in the fast lane, got me all fired up, full gas tank. Put the pedal to the floor when I hit the dough. Give me everything you got, like the bank is out. Yeah.
And these outfits are so fucking cute. I love the colorful dresses, the cute loungewear, and their state outfits were so pretty too. This choreo is again so clean, you can tell they spent a long time perfecting it, and again, as with the rest of the dances, this is super fun, especially that chorus. Over the past 3 years and 7 months, the girls have made it through a survival show, management under 3 different labels, and 8 comebacks to finally reach the moment both the group and Flovers have been waiting for. On September 7th, fromis9 finally receives their first ever music show win on the show for the song Talk and Talk.
fromis9 축하합니다.
네, 오늘 저희가 이렇게 데뷔를 하고 처음으로 1위를 맞이한 날이에요. 일단 플로버 진심으로 너무 감사드리고요. 그리고 저희 플레디스 식구들 한성수 대표님, 김현수 부사장님 너무 감사드립니다. 그리고 우리 9명의 가족들, 멤버들 눈물 날 것 같아.
그리고 항상 활동할 때마다 우리가 행복하게 무대를 할 수 있게 힘을 주는, 지금은 못 만나고 있는 우리 플로버 너무너무 감사합니다. 우리 1등 했어요.
1322 days, a criminally long time after debut, fromis received their very well-deserved first win. It must have felt so great to finally have all that hard work validated in a tangible way.
우리가 이제 4년 차잖아. 근데 그 4년이라는 시간이 짧다면 짧고 또 길다면 되게 긴데, 우리가 지칠 수 있는 시기에 이렇게 1등이라는 선물, 보상을 받아서 나는 더 힘이 났던 것 같아.
그리고 나는 진짜 멤버들한테도 너무 고마웠어.
맞아.
뭔가 포기라고 하면 포기라고 해야 되나? 놓을 수 있었다고 생각을 했는데 진짜 잡아주고 진짜 멤버들 생각하면 눈물이 나. 너 연습생을 같이 안 했잖아.
와서 했지.
와서 뭔가 했고 연습생 생활을 같이 안 했는데 나는 서로를 진심으로 챙기고 이런 걸 볼 때 진짜 고맙다, 진짜 다행이다. 축복인 것 같아, 이런 팀을 만난 거는.
And Jiheon girl, I'm sorry, they did you so dirty with that thumbnail. I said it very early on in this video, but Jiheon was just 14 years old when they debuted, meaning she was, and probably still is, double timing school and working as an idol. I can't even imagine to begin how much effort that takes, so getting all that effort validated must have felt extra special to her.
여러 감정이 들었던 것 같아요. 우리가 엄청 빠르게 이렇게 1등을 한 게 아니잖아요. 약간 차근차근 우리가 단계를 밟아왔잖아. 그게 이렇게 딱 스치면서 슬펐던 것 같아요.
Also, gyuri in the back while everyone was teary-eyed and trying to hold it together. Anyways, I hope the girls are very proud of themselves because they definitely deserve it. New year, new fromis stage. After 5 months, the girls are done talking and have moved on from the 70s to the modern day marvel of texting. Off of Midnight Guest, we get DM. Fromis are going back to the roots of the girls' crazy in love concept, sort of. Except now they're more mature and are making a midnight escape to, and I quote, knock on the doors of the people spending a restless night, gifting them a surprise of uplifting emotions. Aww. DM stands for doesn't matter, not DM. By the way, I just said that because I needed a segue. That intro was made for me. The Fender Rose, the chords, the funky drums, that bass. I'm personally not the bass fan of disco, but the vocals in this were eating. That pre-chorus is crazy, that bridge was heavenly. I wish it went on for longer. Ad-libs in this were just insane. Hayoung's whistle notes were crazy. You think she's done and then it just keeps going. And she does it live too. They said hashtag pride with this music video though. But no, for real, the sets are so cute. The color changing city set because they're escaping into the city. The playground thingy Gyun is at. Gyuri with the teddy bear. Also, does Saerom not know how to ride a bike? Like, why does she look like she's struggling so hard? It looks so on theme. Like, if I saw these girls out and about dressed like this, I definitely think, yep, they're going to some fancy dinner. The white outfits were so pretty too, and Megan wore that hat before it was famous, just letting you know. This whole performance is so slay, starting with that intro. Like, what do you mean they untied her hair? Hey you, 지금 뭐해? 잠깐 밖으로 나올래? 네가 보고 싶다고. I love how Jiheon is constantly smiling no matter what, and the cherry on top really is at any pose. It's so slay. And DM absolutely blew up, reaching #1 on the Gyun streaming chart, with the album reaching #2 on the Gyun album chart. I'm not one to care about the numbers, like who actually gives a fuck, but Midnight Guest sold over triple their last EP. DM became their breakout hit, and is still their most popular song to date. With the title track this popular, it was bound to happen that 5 days after starting promotions on the 25th, fromis got to accept their second ever win.
더쇼 초이스의 주인공은
프로미스9 축하합니다.
네, 저희 프로미스9이 어제 4주년을 맞이했는데요. 저희 프로미스9 9명 정말 열심히 달려왔거든요. 그리고 누가 뭐라고 해도 어떤 힘든 일이 있어도 그것이 외딴 섬일지라도 정말 열심히 9명이 서로 믿고 의지해가면서 여기 이렇게 왔는데요. 플로버들이 정말 잘했다고 이렇게 인정을 위로를 해주는 것 같아서 오늘은 좀 늘려보려고 합니다. 우리 멤버들한테 잘 견뎌와줘서 고맙다고, 멤버들한테 사랑한다고 얘기해줄게. 멤버들 고마워요, 견뎌줘서. 고마워, 많이.
And just one day later, the girls got to receive their third win on Show Champion.
플로버 분들 직접 만나지 못하고 있는데도 이렇게 너무 많은 응원과 큰 선물을 주셔서 감사합니다. 앞으로 더 좋은 음악과 좋은 활동으로 보답하는 프로미스 나인 되도록 하겠습니다.
I'm glad they could have more fun with this one and took the opportunity to flex their vocals during the encore. Congratulations to fromis on all their wins. I hope they're proud.
엄마, 아빠 너무 보고 싶고 사랑합니다. 오늘도 엄마, 아빠 사랑해요.
사랑해요, 엄마, 아빠.
A few weeks after the promotions for DM ended, it was announced that Jiheon would be taking a break from any and all activities due to anxiety, but don't worry, she was only absent from a few Channel 9 episodes and will be back in good health for their first fan meeting. Oh, speaking of their first fan meeting,
저희가 팬미팅이랑 콘서트 경험이 없어가지고 굉장히 많이 기다렸어요. 근데 저희가 기다린 거에 배로 아마 플로버 분들도 많이 기다리셨을 것 같아서 드디어 한다는 그 생각만으로도 지금 벌써 설레이고.
fromis finally gets their first fan meet. Fromis Day was held April 22nd till the 24th, and I don't know why they called it fan meeting when it was more like a mini concert, but whatever. The girls got to perform and interact with about 1,500 flovers in a sold-out venue.
항상 이렇게 노력해서 결과물로 증명하도록 하겠습니다.
Anyway, since this fan meet was such a big hit, fromis finally gets their first little tour. Kind of more like several concerts called Love From. They were holding 4 concerts from September 30th till October 7th in Seoul and Tokyo, and all the dates sold out immediately after the sales went live. It's so funny how these companies always underestimate how big a fandom is, because why is trying to buy concert tickets always a whole struggle? But the struggle is so worth it when this is the set list. I need them to do a world tour so bad. Like, what do you mean I don't get to experience Fly High live? Though what I remember most of this event is that one picture of Saerom with the biggest brightest smile on her face, and then you look down and you see rock hard abs. Keep fromis away from the hype gym, bro.
물어봤어요. BTS 선배님한테 누가 제일 많이 해요? 이렇게 물어봤는데 딱 하young 선배님이랑 세롬 선배님이랑 지선 선배님 형이 3대장이라고.
That's right, the girls are back just in time for summer, and what's more summer than going on an unplanned road trip? For their brand new album from our memento box, fromis 9 presents Stay This Way. Another disco funk song. Putting my personal feelings aside for a second, this was so fun. The switch up with the melodic rapping was so good. This is a very well made song. Every time you almost get bored with the disco sound, they throw you something real quick just to keep you on board. Whether it's the chord changes or the ad-libs or whatever, it flowed so well. This music video is pretty low-key, but super aesthetically pleasing and relaxing. And I know I'm a broken record at this point, but the color grading in this is so pretty. They made everything vibrant and contrasted, so colors really pop, but there's also this soft glow as if it's just constantly golden hour. And I love how I actually go into their memento box and take a look at their memories through the little viewfinder thingy. It's very cute. As were their outfits, the styling was super summery yet low-key, and again, they look so pretty. Nagyung with this bob, Hayoung with the silver hair, they all look stunning, but chaeyoung in these shots, bro, insane. From our memento box debuted at number 1 on South Korea's Circle album chart, which is the first for them, no pun intended, so congratulations, I hope they're proud. With that out of the way, it's time to start performing at music shows. Their first week went pretty normal, nothing unusual. Their second week, however, they got consecutive wins 5 days in a row. They won at pretty much every single music show there is. The Show, Show Champion, M Countdown, Music Bank, and Music Core. And this time, Flover's got to be there in person to cheer them on. I'm gonna spare you with the 5 encores, and instead do a little supercut, so enjoy.
엄마 아빠 사랑합니다. 저기만 해봐 너하고 나 I just wanna 어디든 발길이 닿는 대로 저기만 해봐 저기만 해봐 I just wanna stay this way 뜨겁고는 부셔 춤춰 예뻐 stay this way 끝까지 틈 너로 인해 채워졌던 시간 우리 시간은 over 너무 눈부셔 기억하고 있어 지금 이 순간 time to
This isn't technically fromis related, but July 25th is when I became a flover, and you might be curious as to how I became a fromis stan, and it was literally because of a tweet. I saw this tweet of chaeyoung and I was like, oh my god, who is that? Then I found out about fromis and their insane discography, and the rest is history. Anyway, the reason I'm even telling you this is because 2 days after I became a fan, it was announced that gyuri was leaving fromis. 1 week later.
Even in a different life, you still would have been mine. We would have been timeless.
understand.
Like, what happened to staying this way? When the group switched agencies last year, the girls all set up new contracts with new terms, except for Gyuri, who chose to continue with her old contract that would expire July 21st. She chose not to renew her contract because she wants to pursue acting. She later explained in the interview that acting was always her dream, and that she couldn't do both acting and being an idol at the same time. It was mentally and physically just too taxing on her. She felt like she couldn't fully focus on either thing, and that it was harming the team, so while she'd definitely be missed, I'm glad she made the decision for her own good and left on her own terms.
귤레이트 치겠습니다. 하나, 둘, 셋. 귤레이트 치겠습니다. 하나, 둘, 셋. 마지막 귤레이트 치겠습니다. 하나, 둘, 셋. 안녕.
After almost exactly 5 years after the debut and nearing their 5th anniversary, fromis had something special in store that both they and the fandom had been waiting for. On January 13th, fromis9 revealed the design of their first official light stick. They named it the Flowbong, and it's definitely unique. It's cute though, especially when decorated. The way Flow was made is so much prettier, it's crazy. Like, look at all the creativity.
My heart beats. All the sleepless nights, the pressure, the dizziness.
After some delays and almost exactly a year after their last release, fromis9 is back with their first full album, Unlock My World, ushering in a new era for Fromis. This time the girls explore themes of identity and self-love to shimmering and uplifting anthems. But first things first, we gotta take a look at the title track, #MeNow.
Unlock my world.
This song is mesmerizing. The harmonies and melodies were delicious. The chorus melody is so addicting. There's tones in this as well, just fantastic. And the bridge! Oh my god, they sound insane. #MeNow is a song where the girls sort of reintroduce themselves. The celebration of self-love sets the tone for the rest of this album and brings forward a more mature and introspective side of the girls we haven't exactly gotten to see yet, as they make a timely exploration into their identity. This music video is so gorgeous, from the old Hollywood aesthetic to the highway shots and the cute pajama party. You can really tell they were having a lot of fun filming this, especially the credit scene. It's retro, chic, and silly all at the same time, really capturing Fromis' essence actually. They end the music video with them climbing over the gate, unlocking their world and setting themselves free. And they again look stunning, Saerom with the two-toned hair, chaeyoung with that bob, and the styling was so good. I love the old Hollywood dresses, the pajamas were so cute, the military-esque outfits are so good, and their stage outfits were so fucking pretty too. Shout out to their stylist, man. Can you imagine having to prep all these beautiful custom outfits for 8 people? Anyways, back to the performance. This is so clean and detailed. It's so crazy how synchronized they are. They have so many cool moves in this. Too many to even sum up, but some of my favorites are the hand movement of them unlocking the world, the second post-chorus moment, and the last chorus. There's so many ripples, the choreography was on point. This is just so satisfying to watch, not to mention how much more difficult it is to make choreo look good with an even amount of members. And this being their first comeback as an 8-member group has definitely had its effects, and also made their first win in this new chapter of Fromis extra special.
쇼트웨이스의 주인공은 프로미스9 축하합니다.
네, 우선은 우리 플로버분들 플로버 고마워요. 플로버분들 먼저 진심으로 너무 감사드리고요. 플로버분들이 주신 사랑과 응원 덕분에 저희 미나우가 네, 미나오가 빛을 발하고 있다고 생각하고 그리고 이번 쇼케이스 때 얘기했다시피 지금이 프로미스 나인의 개화기라고 생각하는데 오늘 받은 이 트로피를 자양분으로 삼아 앞으로도 만개할 수 있는 프로미스 나인이 되도록 노력하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
You know it's emotional when Saerom is crying. And like she said, it's Fromis' 9th season to bloom, and what better way to do that than with the banger album? Cue the review.
솔직할수록 달아오를 점세 다 잊고 춤을 췄나 단장이 묻어올린 mnet 안에 네 맘의 crystal clear 오직 날 위한 party Baby 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 보여주고 싶어 더 가까이 다가갈게 So bring it on Baby 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 너무 내가 많이 달라져도 So bring it on 따라와봐 더 유원해 명해진 my desire 점점 커져가는 욕심 채울수록 끝이 없는 듯이 날 더 원해 아직 낯선 떨림 그 속에 놓인 너를 더 알고 싶어지는 걸 힘껏 달리지 꺼진 heartbeat 너는 you are what I want 솔직해질 우리만의 secret 마치 서로의 일기장 같아 아주 따스한 비로 속에 너와의 날 routine 안녕 찾아 오늘도 그만 내가 너 잘까 잊어지는 순간 You and me 넌 마지막 이제 너의 눈을 보면 닿을 것 같아 이젠 투명한 네 눈빛 어둠 속에서도 찾을 수 있어 너를 빛나는 너와 끊임없는 eye contact 우리가 함께했던 모든 시간들을 모아서 Everything we did 아주른 나를 지나 되짚고 never remember
Happy New Year, guys! We finally made it to 2024. I hope you're still enjoying the video. Anyways, back to Fromis. Seeing as they have a now not so brand new set of songs they've yet to perform anywhere, it's about time for another concert, don't you think? Fromis finally gets their second concert a good year and a half after the last one. Luckily, Hybe finally got the memo a little bit and booked Fromis in an arena this time around. And I'm again very salty about not being there. Like, look at this set list! I'm so tired of watching fan cams and being sad about it. Fromis World Tour, when Hybe, get your shit together. Wow, would you look at that? How time flies, am I right? This year just started and it's summer already.
Or you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Literally fuck all happened the first half of 2024, like actually nothing. Crickets. All they released those 6 months was a few vlogs and covers and an FM 124 special. That's it. So we're moving on to when shit starts to heat up a bit in July, when fromis goes on a little festival performance spree. They're booked going around to every festival in town, including but not limited to their annual WeverseCon, the K-Wave Music Festival in Manila, the Ulsan Summer Festival, oh, and their first ever appearances at Waterbomb, which as you can imagine went pretty viral.
So my fingers like a nigga wife me. Got another shorty, shit ain't nothing like me.
Hey, would you look at that? It's finally comeback time. After another ridiculously long hiatus for absolutely no reason, this time pledis managed to break OTR's records of 13 months and raises it to 14. 14 months for a single album comeback. You wanna hear another fun little statistic? fromis have spent half their career on hiatus. When I catch whatever shithead executive is purposely mistreating my girls, people like to crack jokes about pledis just being bad with girl groups, but this is borderline sabotage. Like genuinely, I don't know who the fuck over a pledis or hybe doesn't like them, but when I catch him...
이렇게 활동을 오랫동안 못할까? 우리만 프로미스 나인만 너무 슬프다. 나도 팬 있다. 우리도 플로버 있다.
It's ridiculous that a group doing these numbers that is this successful doesn't get regular concerts, tour, or any of the other basic shit that groups doing way less well than them do get. Especially since they have a huge corporation like Hybe, racking in $125 million in profit last year, by the way, backing them. It genuinely makes me so sad because fromis_9 is a group of such fun, bright, and genuine people. Like, these girls deserve so much better than this bullshit. They really are so passionate about their jobs and performing, and it just sucks that they are constantly undermined by their own label and have their growth stifled, when they could and should be so much more.
I'm about to beat this bitch up.
Anyways, rant over, sorry about that. In other news, the plan was to have this video done before the new comeback, but I'm late again, per usual. But that does mean we get to check out how fromis plans to break the sound barrier with their new single album, Supersonic. If fromis was in full bloom with #MeNow, they're flowering with Supersonic. This is fromis_9 at their fucking peak. Like, what was that track? This is unlike anything fromis have put out before. I'm speechless, I don't know what to say really. I've been yapping non-stop this entire video and now, I don't know what you want me to say. It's really fucking good.
Check your out. Supersonic. Supersonic.
The song has 90s vibes. They start off with that gorgeous intro, the chords are stunning, the delivery all throughout is crazy, the melodies are phenomenal, and then you get to that exploding chorus until they start whispering in Supersonic. This song flows so well in and out of segments, and that bridge, dude.
다시 또 여름이 다가오면 말하지 않아도 알 수 있어 지친 너를 구할 방법을 보여 길었던
Ah, this is so fucking good. As was this music video. I don't know why they're at a harbor, but it's kind of a really cool backdrop with like destroyed cars everywhere. I don't know why they're there, but it looks cool, so whatever, I guess. They have so many fun creative shots in this, and I love that they used water for the big climax moment. It's fun and fresh and fits this concept so well. And the styling just keeps getting better. They look so good. They have this whole 90s aesthetic going on here. I love the racer inspired fits. The Heat lifeguard looking outfits are really good too. I really like all the star accessories and kitschy jewelry. And of course the girls themselves look super pretty, and most of them have drastically different hair from the last time we saw them. Megan is blonde and she looks so stunning. This is literally her best color. Hayoung is back to her feel-good peachy hair. Chaeyoung has a high ponytail. Saerom has this shaggy wolf cut situation going on and it looks so good on her. And Nagyung's hair is one shade lighter brown. Seoyeon, Jisun and Jiheon decided they were good on deep frying their hair and they were stunning nonetheless. This choreo is so satisfying. I love when fromis shows out with their dancing. And Nagyung's part in the chorus, well, the whole chorus actually, but that hit me up part is so satisfying to watch. Not one beat was missed. The theme this choreo was shaking some ass because it's summer. They hit that move so hard, and of course it wouldn't be fromis if it didn't end with an iconic ending pose. Considering it's 3 days after the comeback as I'm writing this, nothing has really happened so far. They haven't even been on a music show yet.
프로미스9 축하합니다. 프로미스9 축하드립니다.
이번 주 1위 프로미스9입니다. 축하드립니다. 감사합니다.
This comeback is doing numbers though. The music video is currently sitting at 12 million views as of August 15th, and Supersonic is already Fromis' highest charting song since We Go. Like, it's barely been 72 hours, that's crazy. The girls have also surprisingly been on a lot of variety shows, and they're all around 100k the first few hours after they upload. I'm sensing Fromis getting their due flowers this year. But yeah, that's really it for Supersonic for now, but let's go check out how Fromis is gonna continue to break the sound barrier in this video's final album review. So to answer the question I asked myself at the very beginning,
flashback.
So I've always wondered why it is that I like fromis so much. What is it about that group that makes me like their music so much, even if they're not songs I'd normally enjoy? I mean, obviously they've got beautiful voices, but that usually wouldn't be enough to make someone like me absolutely love to heart, right?
End of flashback.
The reason I love fromis so much, even though I technically shouldn't, is because they're fun. That's literally it, they make fun music. I know, that's a very anticlimactic answer, but it's legit the one I landed on after hours upon hours spent researching and writing this video. There's something inexplicable and almost magical about fromis' music. They have this aura about them and they manage to capture you. On the surface level, most people would write them off as just average K-pop, but those willing to take a chance and listen will unlock a world full of fun music they will take to heart. Fromis9 is one of those groups that are impossible not to love, a team full of some of the most passionate and talented people in K-pop, and despite everything thrown their way, still persevered and came out on top. I want to end this with saying congratulations to Fromis for having been an amazing group for the past 6 years and growing so much as a team. I am so proud of what this group has already accomplished and they have my heart. They honestly deserve the world and I wish them nothing but the best. Thank you Fromis9 for being Fromis9 and releasing such fun fucking music. Anyways, you're probably really sick of me talking by now, but thank you for watching through to the end and I hope you enjoyed. Please go support my girls Fromis, they need the money, so go rack up the supersonic stream some more. Alright, as always, I hope you have an amazing day. Catch you in the next one. Love and peace.
Love and peace.